Last episode, we built the Great Southern Wall to protect the Southern Valley, but now we need to protect our east, and we're going to do that by building the Great Fortress Tower of 3 steps. Ladies and gentlemen, licorice twirls, hair clippers, and rechargeable batteries, welcome back to another Timoredbeard video. Today, we are continuing with the Mountain Castle Megabuild, and we are building the 3-step tower to protect our eastern flank. Before we jump into it though, if you do like this video, hit that like button, consider subscribing, and don't forget to press that notification bell. Also, make sure that you join the Discord because we have a competition going on, a building competition, to build an underground home where the roof can be nothing but rocks. There are £20 or your local equivalent in Steam gift cards up for grabs if you win. Make sure you get involved in the Discord. For now, let's do this. So at the end of the last video, I created this tiny little wall section as the beginning of the footprint for the 3-step tower. Now the 3-step tower needs to be a big building because there is a lot of mountain that it needs to protect from, and it needs to get up there in height, like I explained in the last video, so that it could defend from the east without us having to like decapitate a mountain, which clearly we're not going to do. So the 3-step tower is planned to be this slightly unusual shape, which brings some nice feelings to it all, and you know, aesthetics, etc, etc. And I've already sort of laid out this plan here. You can see where I flattened this area where I'm going to put the base of the bottom floor of the 3-step tower, and it's going to end up creating a shape that looks like this. So in order to do that, there is a lot of stonework, a lot of stonework, especially when you're doing everything on rounded edges with alternating bricks. It takes a while. So I'm gonna skip all of this for you guys and just show you a few little bits here there of each section going up. But for the most part, it's me just building stone walls up with alternating bricks. So one thing I do have to admit to you guys is that after hours upon hours upon hours of just laying alternating brick on top of alternating brick, I am this close to getting some sort of copy and paste mod that will allow me to grab like large wall sections of already alternating bricks and just bam, rotate, bam, you know, because just laying the stonework for this build, or for the 3-step tower, probably took me about 5 to 6 hours of just laying stones. First of the many walls of this build is complete, and it's time to sort out the interior of this section. That involves getting rid of some of the rock inside here to flatten it out and create a bit of space, and then create a staircase and a support pillar to lead up to the roof of this section, and obviously to enable the ability to walk in and out. So to build the staircase, I am constructing a interior framework made up of the large stone walls, because they'll provide enough support for the stairs that we need, and a lot of it will be covered up by the stairs and by other parts. So we can get away with using these large walls, which reduces our workload, and also it does the job just fine. And I'm doing a staircase that is a double ramp, so it's going to go from one side towards the other, and then turn around and then head back up to the top, which is one of the 2 different types of staircases that I use out of stone in this build. And I really like how it ended up looking by the end of this bit of construction. One thing I am doing to make my life easier is I'm just raising the ground up inside the staircase here, so that a lot more of the stone is just well supported via glue, and I'm not having to use tricks like iron poles and stuff when it's much easier just to raise the ground here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just sort of like, imagine the big stone walls are like your framework, and I'm kind of like pouring concrete into the inside the frame, to make it all nice and strong and sturdy. Is effectively what I'm doing, but I'm using terraforming and not concrete, of course. And with the staircase done, it's time to roof in this section. And of course, this is a large area to try and fill with a roof. So in order to do this, we're going to have support pillars of some kind inside. Now we can be cheeky and we can use some iron poles so that we don't have to use too many support pillars, and we can hide iron beams in and around, or iron poles in and around, to allow us to have a more open area, which is what I'm going to do. Now, I personally have really kind of been turned off of the actual pillar block that exists in the game at the moment. Whenever you try to stack them together to create a more thicker support pillar, they end up just looking a bit crap because of the way that they kind of have this wavy edge to them, and there's this clear gap between each pillar. So what I've found I actually really enjoy doing is making these support pillars out of 1x2 blocks and making them almost like a Jenga tower. So you just alternate the direction each level going up, and I think it looks really nice, and it certainly does the job in terms of structural support. And now with the roof filled in, which is very, very easy to do with the combination of the staircase and the big support pillar we built, using just some archways on the walls and on the pillars, etc, etc, the roof went in no problem. Few iron beams here and there for the really out in the middle of nowhere bits of roof, but otherwise sorted. It's time to work on the second tower. So I won't go into too much detail on the second tower, as it is almost just a duplicate of the first at a different angle. So I will show you a few little bits here, but otherwise we're going to push straight on and through. From this aerial shot, you can start getting a feel of what the footprint of the 3-step tower is going to look like based on the illustrations I showed at the beginning of the video, and I'll overlay them right now, which will hopefully give you a bit of an idea of the direction that we're going to be taking this and building the next few bits because of. So the foundations for the second section are down, the wall down to the ground, and everything you see under that stone floor there is just filled with terraforming. Raise the terrain up into it so that everything has got a nice solid foundational support, because of course this is going to go much taller, and especially the third section, which you can see inside is all those rocks inside that ring, are going to function as the foundational support for the final bit as well. And now you can see we have the third tower's foundations placed down as well, so that is the floor height now for the second piece and the third piece sorted. So we have to build up the actual walls now of the parts of the towers that you can actually be in, and build the staircases, the roofing, and sort the battlements out. So again, it's just a lot of stone laying here, so I'm not going to put you through watching all of that stone laying. I'll bring you back in a moment. And there we go, the wall for the second stage is built. So we are now going to have to build a staircase up inside to lead to the third tower, or the tallest part, and also roof it in like we did the first section. I am going to show you this bit because I decided to use a slightly different staircase for this, for the inside of this one, utilizing the curve of the tower itself, or the section itself, and you know, to bring a bit of variety to each section. I always like to say that that symmetry combined with asymmetry is the way to make the most beautiful creations. So I like things to have a symmetry, and also things to not have a symmetry. And when you combine those two, you get the most beautiful builds. So for this staircase, we're wrapping around the curve, which means we're doing two, because the wall sections are 3 walls wide, we're doing 2 walls worth of stairs, and then using that third wall to give us a little bit of a flat in between each segment that cones between the stairs to bring it all together looking nice and neat. I also think it's important, even when you're building a build purely for the creativity at all, is to not waste space when you don't need to. So instead of just stacking a bunch of floors or walls or whatever here to add more stairs, I'm actually using some arches to create enough foundational support to place stairs on top of out of the wall, creating a little alcove section underneath the staircase that could be used for a great many different things in the future, but it prevents the waste of space, which I think is quite important. And this time, because we didn't have the support of the staircase as much closing in the area, and we have a much larger area to roof in, I decided to go with 2 support beams, making the same style as the first one, which is of course the Jenga style 1x2 blocks stacked alternately on their way up with an iron pole running the whole way up through the center, coming from the terrain below to make it nice and strong. And then again, using arches off of the walls and off of the support pillars and the occasional iron beam to bring the whole stone roof across the top. With that done, it was time to begin the last tower's walls. But to do that, first we needed to get rid of this big stone that was kind of in the way. So I quickly got rid of that. And then laid down the walls, which again, I'm going to skip because it takes forever. So with the walls built on the tower, I wanted to add something to the top that was interesting and effective and had a use. And I felt like mimicking what we had on the wall, on the southern wall, would be good. So I chucked in a balcony of sorts around the top of the tower, with some stairs leading up to the balcony, and kind of just made it look like the same one on the tower, but without the holes in the floor of it. And then I roofed it in, and I roofed it in with an interesting design that was it was like a roof that went around the edge and just covered the very edge. But then instead of it ending as it went further inside, it went back down and then came up again into a point. And then, of course, making circular roofs come to a point at the top is almost impossible. So I covered up the very point, but with a hat of sorts that I think looks really nice. So, yeah. If you have enjoyed this build, please do hit that like button, consider subscribing, and don't forget to caress that notification bell. I'm really loving how this mountain castle is turning out. I think it looks fantastic, and I think when it's finished, it's going to be such an incredible mega project. I'm really chuffed with it. Guys, thank you so much. If you do want to support me further, check out the Patreon in the description below. Also check out the merch store. Those two ways are the best ways for you to support me, and I'd really appreciate it if you did. Join the Discord. Of course, we have the build competition going on, and also if you would like to submit your base to be pimped during the Pimp My Base videos and streams, then that's also in the Discord. And also, if you want to submit a Friday's Fantastic Thoughts showcase build, then the Discord is also the place to do that. I also stream on Twitch from Tuesday through to Friday, starting at 1 PM GMT. I'd love to catch you there. But otherwise, this has been the 3-step tower build. I'll be back next week with the next addition to the mountain castle. Peace out. Take care.